Hello everyone, I'm Pete O'Farrell.
And I'm Jessica Kurgo. This is your November 2023 installment of Walpole News Today. The Select Board held its fiscal year 2024 residential tax shift hearing on Tuesday, November 14th, ultimately voting in a 4-to-1 majority to adopt the Board of Assessors' recommended 1.30% tax shift with a residential factor of 0.9604. Here's more from that hearing.
Board of Assessors co-chair Jack Fisher opened the fiscal year 2024 tax classification hearing by highlighting elements of the data package and detailing possible scenarios depending on the Select Board's vote.
Okay, with no shift, residential makes up 88.34% of all the valuation in Walpole. With a shift, the current shift, it's 85.14%. Walpole is overwhelmingly residential.
The Board of Assessors voted to recommend a 1.30% tax shift with a 2-to-1 vote. Board of Assessors co-chair Richard Zaccaro explained why he voted against the recommendation favored by his fellow board members and why he believes a 1.35% shift would be a more fair and equitable option.
You pointed out it's a savings of like $9 a quarter. I personally was in favor of shift of 1.350% that would save the residents at least $25 a quarter, be $102 a year.
The board overwhelmingly favored the recommended shift, with the exception of Glenn Maffey, who expressed hesitancy over the potential to deter commercial taxpayers with a higher rate while the town's residential base grows.
For the same for 9 years, it is time. The market has shown that it is time with the difference in the increase of property values. I mean, that is something great for the homeowner, 10% increase in property values, but it is difficult when it comes to the tax bill.
I'm actually not opposed to shifting some of the burden over to the commercial side, but I think what we need to do as a town is to increase our commercial tax base. So I'm actually concerned with the impact of, and I said this last year and I'm just being consistent, with increasing the burden on the commercial side when really we're growing on the residential side as a community. Make a motion to adopt a shift of 1.30 with a residential factor of 0.9604 for fiscal year 2024.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We have a vote.
No.
Of 4-1-0.
With the tax shift approved, the town administrator will submit the results to the Massachusetts Division of Local Services Gateway System. For Walpole News Today, this is Tamara Green.
The League School of Greater Boston plans to expand its new Career Education Center project located at 231 Moose Hill Road in Walpole. The school recently applied for a land disturbance permit with the Conservation Commission for the construction of a 2-story educational building, a 1-story maintenance building, and a greenhouse with associated grading, parking, and utility. Here's more on that story.
The Conservation Commission considered a land disturbance permit submitted by the League School of Greater Boston for the construction of new facilities on the school's property. According to the application, the site is currently occupied by 2 single-family residential buildings owned and used by the League School. The proposed project will demolish and remove the existing buildings to make way for the new education center. In July of 2023, the school announced it received a grant from the Ed Walsh Foundation to help continue and expand its gardening program. The school wrote, quote, "Getting outdoors and engaging in meaningful hands-on learning is very important to what League School does, and one of the best examples of this is the work students do at both the on-campus garden space and the Abundance Garden located at nearby Norfolk Agricultural High School." End quote. The K-12 school is among the first of its kind in New England. Since its founding in 1966, the League School has grown into a multidisciplinary school for over 100 day and night students, relocating to its current location in Walpole in 1999. Future discussions regarding the construction plans are expected to come. For Walpole News Today, this is Nick Piccarelli.
An ongoing assessment conducted by the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation recently labeled Walpole's Bird Pond Dam as an intermediate-size, high-hazard dam. Select Board members discussed what's in store for the aging infrastructure at their November 7th meeting.
Extreme rainfall in Massachusetts is raising concern among state officials about aging, inefficient, and often unsafe dams throughout the state. Bird Pond Dam is one of several non-federal dams in Massachusetts that do not have a clear owner but are still subject to the National Program for the Inspection of Aging Dams. Investigation into Bird Pond Dam began in 2020 when the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation contacted town officials regarding the abandoned structure. The DCR's Dam Rehabilitation Project is an ongoing initiative intended to modernize or do away with hazardous dams in Massachusetts. The state contracted the multinational infrastructure consulting firm AECOM to lead the process. At the November 7th Select Board meeting, project manager Jennifer Doyle Green delivered an update including work to date, current risks, cost analysis, and the permitting and ownership needed to proceed with the project. Doyle Green presented 3 scenarios for the dam's removal: repair, partial removal, and full removal.
Based on the reasons I just explained, DCR's preferred approach is to remove the spillway and operate a dry dam and have the ability for a dry impoundment to exist. So it would reduce risk.
Initial pushback from residents includes excessive mosquitoes, smells, general muckiness, and increased risk of flooding. The 18-foot tall, 430-foot-long dam is located downstream from the 25-square-mile Neponset River watershed and flows beneath several commercial properties, a factor that significantly limits hydraulic opportunities. While DCR has proposed covering the full cost of the project, cooperation from town and private landowners is needed for future ownership.
If a community wants a dam to stay and the repair alternative is chosen, DCR does require that there be a municipal commitment to achieving property ownership because DCR is not really in a position to own or take ownership of these dams. But repairs would be implemented by DCR and paid by DCR before turning the dam over to the municipality. But given no municipal interest, generally speaking, DCR will pursue full or partial removal.
Regardless of the 150 or 500-year flood scenarios, just the day-to-day, if you didn't even have a flood scenario, we've got risk in that dam, I believe.
Yep.
Well,
And
this
so
is
the
a question of timeline.
So the do-nothing approach really it's not a choice.
Select Board member Ben Barrett said in a statement that public outreach is getting started and discussion is ongoing as permits are pursued. For Walpole Media, this is Patrick Zisk.
Significant progress has been made on the new middle school building, according to the status update from Fontaine Brothers Incorporated. Here's more from the November 14th School Building Committee meeting, along with some exclusive drone footage captured by Walpole Media.
We're looking from the south here at the building. You can see the masons complete with that south side of A building. That kind of black area at the bottom there, those are the metal panels. Those have been installed. You can see the windows on this elevation are complete. They're working their way around the building. This is that main entry courtyard. So where the canopy will be, kind of to the left of the screen there. You can see the mason has progressed through this courtyard. Windows installed on the upper levels. In the middle there, that's like your main curtain wall. See, that's been being installed, the frames, the glazing's in. Here you're standing in the cafeteria, kind of looking back into the kitchen area. You can see that the overhead rough is ongoing. That photo on the left there, the radius wall into the bathroom, you can see the tile wrapping in. And then on the right there is kind of just your typical classroom. Acoustical ceiling tile, not the tile, but the grid starting next week on the first floor.
As is typical, 2023 Walpole School District MCAS scores exceeded the state average and reflected comparatively high individual student growth. Assistant Superintendent Dr. William Hahn outlined the results and how the district plans to respond in a presentation at the school committee's November 16th meeting. With few exceptions, Walpole's test results align with statewide trends, showing an upward trajectory since academic performance dips observed between 2019 and 2021. Meanwhile, future potential adjustments at the state level are leaving school officials uncertain. District-wide MCAS results are used to guide curriculum, professional development, and timely intervention for student support. Here's more from Dr. Hahn's update.
There is a strong consideration for competency determinations, and that's what you need in order to graduate from a Massachusetts school system with the appropriate MCAS scores or combined coursework. And you will see here that from 2023 to 2025, which we're currently in, there becomes a change for the graduates in 2026. And the primary change is the increase in the achievement scores that you will need to receive in order to graduate. We have students who do not achieve the first option, and this year, for example, that would achieve a 472 in ELA or a 486 in math. And those students, through additional coursework and through retaking MCAS, are able to graduate successfully. But you'll see that the state is considering raising those scores and those expectations around scores, so I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of this. You should know that Walpole High School hit 93% of its target and was recognized as a school of recognition by DESI for achieving that score. So it's deceiving. You see 67, it might equate to a grade for you, but we were actually recognized by DESI. And I do want to point out that Old Post Road was also a school of recognition by DESI for hitting targets. Our other schools did well. They made substantial progress. The only school that was moderate growth towards the progress was Johnson Middle School. We are doing more at the high school to better identify at-risk students, to utilize Wednesday afternoon intervention block, to provide targeted extra support with a focus on MCAS. Mr. Rodolfi has been in before and spoken about that, and that's now expanded and in place already. That's something that we started very late in the year last year. In another area that's a larger bucket is we continue our instructional coaching, professional development to improve targeted and real-time teacher growth and development. What we don't want to become is a data-rich district that doesn't make changes and provide support to teachers, because data is great and really, really helpful, but if we don't support our teachers to be successful in how to use this data to be better, we'll miss out on really fantastic opportunities.
Santa paid another visit to Walpole at the Walpole Chamber of Commerce annual Santa Parade and tree lighting ceremony. Several hundred spectators packed the town common on Saturday, November 25th to watch the parade and participate in the countdown to the tree lighting. Fan favorite Ed Jakowski or Eddie J returned to play some holiday music, while attendees sipped hot chocolate and enjoyed other holiday treats. Here's more from the event.
The fall 2023 athletic season was quite a nail-biter for Walpole High School.
I had my nails bitten down to the bottoms, but it was an amazing run for several teams. So let's throw it over to downtown Rick Brown with a closer look.
Thank you, Jess and Pete. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the ships at sea. My name is Rick Brown, your voice of Walpole High Sports, with a roundup of the fall season of sports activities here at Walpole High School for the 2023-2024 school year. To begin with, I'd like to send out a huge well done and congratulations to all of our student athletes for their effort these past 3 months. A state champion, a state finalist, and a sectional champion are among the team honors that were garnered by WHS, in addition to multiple individual honors. Let's start off with our state champion, Walpole High Porkers field hockey team. Coach Jen Quinn's squad capped a 22-1 season with a 1-0 victory for the Crown against arch rival Andover to avenge 2 straight losses by the same score in the title game against the Golden Warriors. Capturing their 13th Massachusetts Crown, the Porkers closed out the season with 14 straight victories. Junior Izzy Adams led a balanced scoring attack with the team tops 24 goals and 20 assists and 44 points. Kate Schneider's 37 points were runner-up ahead of Kendall Cusick's 25, Caitlin Naughton's 22, Karen Birch's 19, and Taylor Carter's 17 points. Senior goalkeeper Abby Johnson was superb between the pipes, with no bigger game than her Andover victory. Abby recorded 15 shutouts this year as Walpole allowed just 9 goals all season. Co-captain Karen Birch was chosen Most Valuable Player of the Bay State Conference and was picked as an All-Star, along with teammates Elena Gavoni, Caitlin Naughton, co-captain Katie Colleran, and Izzy Adams. Abby Johnson got an honorable mention and, along with teammates Elena Gavoni and Karen Birch, was chosen for the Best of 60 Senior All-Star Tournament. Walpole's record over the last 4 years with this year's seniors is an amazing 73 wins, 4 losses, and a tie, along with 4 Herget Division and 4 Bay State Conference championships, as well as 3 trips to the Division I state championship game. Then there was the 9-4 Timberwolf football team that made true believers out of everyone they played. Walpole may have fallen a little bit short in the Division III Super Bowl at Gillette Stadium, but with back-to-back 9-victory seasons, Walpole football is back on top. Led by the scoring heroics of the senior class, Jamal Abdal-Khalak paced the team in scoring with 96 points on 16 touchdowns. 13 TDs in a conversion rush by Logan Keys for 80 points. 11 scoring jaunts by Kamari Hughes for 66 points. And 43 PATs and 7 field goals by kicking specialist Nick Foynes for 64 points propelled Walpole. Captains Kevin Needham, Mike Frederick, Brendan Kearns, and Matt Renard, along with defensive standouts Aiden Abadi, Anthony Shamoon, Marco O'Brien, Calvin McCabe, and Patrick Webb, helped guide the Orange and Blues' 27-12 record the past 4 years. And let's not forget junior quarterback Noah McKenzie, who threw for 30 touchdowns and nearly 2,700 yards. We can't wait to see what 2024 has in store for Coach Chris Sullivan's Common Street crew. The boys cross-country team managed just a 6-3 dual meet record, but came alive in the postseason, winning the Herget Division of the Bay State Conference for the first time since 2014 and capturing the Division IIA sectional crown. The sectional title was Walpole's 8th overall and 3rd in the last 10 years. Sean Kerrin and Luke Zaharik were named BSC All-Stars, while Jackson Massey was an honorable mention. A 5th place finish in the D2 All-State meet was Walpole's best finish in 15 years. The girls cross-country team also did itself proud with a 3rd place finish in the D2 sectional championship meet and a 7th in the All-State meet. Isla Zolo, Carolyn White, and Bridget Tierney all medaled in the sectionals, while Isla, a sophomore, and Caroline, a senior captain, were tabbed as Bay State All-Stars, with Bridget getting an honorable mention. The girls' soccer team compiled a 4-10-4 mark in the regular season's tough Bay State Conference. Despite hitting the crossbar and the post several times, the girls were ousted from tournament play by Duxbury 1-0 in a hard-fought game that really showed the mettle of this year's team. Sophomore Bella Bingham, who was a Bay State honorable mention, led the team in scoring with 5 goals. The boys' soccer team closed out the season at 5-10-3 with kudos to goalkeepers Andy Katiki and Lucas Langoni for strong work between the pipes. Promising sophomore Davis Potter's 6 goals and 3 more by junior Austin Feener bode well for next year's squad. Midfielder Silas Tillinghast was chosen as a first-team All-Bay State Conference for the T-Wolves. The Timberwolf volleyball team won 11 of 19 matches this year and qualified for the D2 playoffs for the first time in several years. Captain, middle hitter, blocker Carly Schlittler was named to the league's All-Star team, and captain setter Maddie Mellish was an honorable mention. Finally, before I sign off, I would urge the WHS student body to get out and cheer for your fellow Timberwolf student athletes. It really does make a difference when you hear all that cheering and you're out representing your school in a competitive setting. There will be numerous basketball and hockey games for both boys and girls. Gymnastics meets at the Broderick Gym in the Walpole Mall. Indoor track meets at the Reggie Lewis Center at Northeastern University. And wrestling matches right here at the high school. So until we meet again next month, have a happy holiday season, stay safe, and support your Walpole High team sports. Oh yeah, one last thing. We're always looking for camera operators at our WHS events. Please contact Mr. O'Farrell in room A242 for more information. Once again, have a good holiday season.
That's a wrap for this month's show. If you found these updates helpful, be sure to like this video on YouTube and subscribe to our channel.
You can also stay updated on all things Walpole by following us on social media. For Walpole News Today, I'm Jessica Kurgo.
And I'm Pete O'Farrell. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you next time.